Hi everyone. I just wanted to jump in today and show you my really light, regular summer makeup routine. I am by no means a makeup artist or expert or anything like that. You should really check out Steph at You Walk, I Glide if you want a little bit more of an advanced makeup tutorial. For me, though, I just wanted to show you guys how I relearned how to do my makeup in the last couple of years after my injury. It was really tough. It took me a little while, but once I figured it out, it's become second nature. Just prior to this video, I did do a little bit of eyebrow plucking, and I use these. They're little scissor-shaped tweezers, so I'm able to kind of go through and pluck my eyebrows without any assistance, which my husband loves because he was not a fan of having to help me do my eyebrows. I was first enter. The first thing I'm going to use is this Australian Gold tinted sunscreen. This stuff is my secret weapon. I actually take the cap off the bottle and I put it down, and then I squeeze the product that I need using both hands onto the cap so that way I can access it. And then I just very carefully put it down because I tend to spill it everywhere. And once I have it on the cap here, all I do is just kind of push it onto the heel of my hand here. I have to very carefully balance this with my tenodesis because I am a C4 sensory, C7 motor quadriplegic. So I do not have hand function and I use tenodesis for everything. So I'm going to take off the excess product with my thumb here and then go ahead and dot in the rest of the product using the heel of my hand. I keep my little compact mirror on a hairband here, so that way it's easier for me to pick it up and it's easier to keep it open. And then that way I can put it in my hand here. If you tend to drop things really often, actually go ahead and put that little bit of a hairband over your finger so you're not going to drop it. Even if you do go to drop it, it's going to just hang on to your index right there. And that makes it a lot easier for me to handle makeup. I have worn this as my makeup primer to evening weddings, out to dinner, whatever, because it goes on really nicely and just gives you a really beautiful matte finish to your skin that allows makeup to adhere really nicely. So once I'm finished rubbing it all in, I'm just going to take a quick look, make sure I got everywhere, make sure I don't need any more product. And my first step is to always jump in on eyebrows because they take me the longest. So what you'll see here is below the frame, I'm actually taking these little sticks here and I actually balance them. I typically balance them against my stomach or up here against my chest. And then I take my fingers and I carefully thread my middle finger and my pinky through. So that way it's really nicely threaded between my fingers and I can use my thumb there for a little bit of extra support. So this is the ELF, the Eyes, Lips, Face eyebrow filler. I use the sides of my teeth to very gently open these caps because you don't want to damage the front of your teeth. Sides of your teeth are going to be a lot safer. And I use this one because it is very inexpensive and it does a great job of drawing in just the general body of your eyebrows. And you'll see here I have some product up, but if I did need to bring out more product, I'm going to super carefully put this between my teeth and rotate counterclockwise. Just like that. So that way I can get some product out really carefully. And so one of the things that I'm doing here that I find very helpful is I have my C table, which is kind of like a hospital table right next to me. And I'll actually balance my elbow on it because I don't have core balance. I do my best to follow my natural shape just because I'm a little too blonde to pull off, doing too much beyond my natural shape. It's pretty obvious if I try to draw it in too far. And the great thing about the Eyes, Lips, Face stick is that once you put it on, it's actually really easy to rub it off. So if you end up having a little too much on, or if you go too far outside the line, it's pretty easy to correct it. So I tend to overdraw on purpose because I know that I'm going to go in with the heel of my hand here a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and rub some off. Now, one of the biggest questions I get with doing my own makeup is how I don't manage to poke myself in the eye. And the answer is that I do. I poke myself in the eye all the time. It's not fun, so it's good to make sure you're not wearing something white, something that isn't washable, because if you think you're going to manage to get through a quadriplegic makeup routine without making a mistake of dropping something, you are out of your mind. And then once I have that general shape, I go back in. I do the same thing here with every one of these sticks, is that I balance them like this. And I carefully grab it with my middle finger. Ooh, pinky finger does not want to open up today. Could you please help me out? Sometimes you have to stop. You just kind of open up your hands a little bit. If you generally have tighter fingers, this threading technique might not be the easiest for you. There we go. But once you can pull it through, pretty secure in there. And this is a much more detail precision kind of a brush. This is the Thrive Cosmetics eyebrow filler. There we go. Managed to pull out just a little bit of product there. This one is a very, very tiny precision tip. So I go in and I just outline the brow and fill in wherever necessary, because this product is a little bit more expensive, but it is totally worth it because it is waterproof. It's a really great shade and it stays put. So I do not have to worry about this stuff wiping off. Once it's been on for 30 to 60 seconds or so, this is the way most Thrive makeup works, is that once it's been on for a little bit, it sort of sets, and then it is really on. So you want to make sure if you do make any mistakes, you correct them pretty quickly. But once you get it on there, it's going to stay put, which is amazing. This is another Thrive eyeliner. It's in a really lovely brown color. Make sure to link to all these things in the description. Now, these eyeliners are very similar to the eyebrow filler. Is that once they go on, they set within about 30 to 60 seconds. So I don't try to be too perfect with these because I just go for a very light, sort of smoky look. Smoky is my code word for a little bit messy. So I'm just going to make sure that my eyeline is covered all the way across. And I'm going to go in with the side of my pinky knuckle. I'm actually just going to pull down on my eye. And that's going to remove a little bit of product off the top end of that line. And it's going to kind of drag that whole thick line down into a thinner line, which actually will end up looking a lot straighter and cleaner. And then if I need to do at a specific area, I'll do the very edge of my pinky knuckle. My pinky sort of naturally sits up like this, so it makes it really easy to go in and make adjustments using this knuckle. And once I'm satisfied that that looks like a pretty clean line along the edge, I'm going to go in and do the other eye. Next thing is mascara. This is the absolute scariest part of the makeup routine for me. It's also difficult because this is really hard to open. It's a fantastic mascara. This is CoverGirl. And you'll see I just sort of have this really carefully balanced. I have no grip. So this mascara is just really lightly balanced between my thumb and forefinger. So I'm going to go in and super lightly just graze tops of my eyelashes. I can't provide much pressure with my hand function. So I'm going to be really careful and really light. And I'm just going to build up this product on my lashes. You can do a couple of coats to make sure you have enough if you're looking for a more dramatic lash. Now, the hard part is when you have to go across your left. You might have to switch around your mascara a little bit. And so I'm going to like really carefully make sure the angle goes downward a little bit so that I can go in and add a tiny bit of product vertically to my inner lashes here. Okay. And then I'm going to use the same technique on this side. Then I'm going to super lightly pull this through my lashes and then really carefully pop this back in. Again, always using your side teeth, making sure you have a very careful grip on it. And once that's all on, then I can go in with concealer. This is another Thrive product. It's a buildable blur creaseless concealer. So I'm going to go in with this and make sure I have the heel of my hand clean. And I'm just going to kind of rub this in lightly in a circular motion. I also like to use the first knuckle of my index finger on the left side. Give it a much easier angle. It's not meant for full coverage. It's just meant to be a bit of a spot cover. And so I just go in and I just kind of blot it in under my eye. And I'll go in with the tip of my thumb to make sure that it's all blended in there. I'm going to go back in with my eyebrow brush because I've done some rubbing around the edges. And I want to make sure that I have some nice crisp lines. So I'm going to go in real carefully and just make sure that I'm following the line of that brow, filling in any spots that look a little empty. This is another Thrive Cosmetics product. It is a 3-in-1 stick, so you can actually use this on your eyes, your lips, and your cheeks. I prefer to just use it on my cheeks. This comes in a lot of colors. I have it in the Cayusa color because it's really, really light. So when I put it on, it's a really subtle blush. If I can get the cap back on it. It's a built-in brush, so you can get it all blended in. I'm going to carefully brace this between both my hands here, so I have a really good grip. And then I'm just going to kind of, with my fingers, hold it real tight as I just sort of put it in concentric circles in my cheekbone. And then I'm going to jump in and finish up with their compact. Now, the compact can be a little hard to open because it is magnetic. Ooh, I got it with my thumb now. Every day is a little bit different when it comes to low hand function because sometimes your hands are going to be really tight and it might be easier or harder to try to get the makeup off. I'm going to start with under my eyes. And this is also softening that top part of the blush there. I use 2 hands on this because gripping a brush, getting it in the right spots can be really hard. I think that's about all we need. Believe it or not, I have a 3rd product from first. This one is really hard to remake. It's another Thrive product. It is a highly pigmented eyebrow gel. And so I just kind of really lightly sort of comb this into my eyebrow hairs, because this is going to make the eyebrow hairs I have look a lot fuller. So that way the eyebrow liner underneath of it kind of blends in a little nicer, because this stuff is sort of a semi-permanent pigment. So if you do mess up and get it in a weird spot, you want to wipe it off right away. Now that that's finished up, I am all set. I can just do a little bit of light lip color. I am super obsessed with the Thrive line because they are cruelty free. Their products work really well. It's really easy for me to get them in my hands and be able to use them. This one is a tinted lip balm. It's going to give a nice shine, and it doesn't give any of that weird gloss, gluey sensation. That's it. That's all I do. Try to keep it really simple on most days because I'm not a big makeup girly. But once you figure this all out and you're comfortable with it, it goes a lot faster if you're not chatting the whole time, of course. I wish I'd started doing this earlier when I was inpatient. I had no idea how to do it and I didn't have the energy. So I didn't start doing this all until 6 months into my injury. And it was huge for my self-esteem. So if you have any questions or comments or suggestions, please leave those down below. I would love to hear from you. I would love to try out new products that you would like to see how they might work or how I might be able to open them. So let me know if there's anything that you would like to suggest, and I'll absolutely make another video down the line so that we can try it out. Thank you so much.